All right, ready to roll here on a Saturday morning. Thanks to our friends at Insperity. Visit Insperity.com for powerful HR solution with exceptional follow-through. You can also get your questions in on Twitter at ESPN 97.5. And InsperityInvitational.com is where you can get your free tickets to this weekend's action here at the Woodlands Country Club. Charlie, great to be alongside you this morning.
It's great to be here in the Woodlands celebrating golf. You know, one year the Houston regular tour played here at this golf course, tournament course. We started the tournament in April, and we finished it in November because of weather.
It's tough to find the timing here in Houston, isn't it?
Well, there's just certain times of the year. You know, spring is very dangerous. All the storms come up from the south and go across the United States. We have tornadoes, and it's just incredible. But this happens about every 5 years. In April, you have a storm like we've just had, 12 inches of rain. North of us, our good golf course, Whispering Pines, got devastated.
Yeah, we're praying for him, Charlie.
But
11.5 inches up there, 12 inches here in the Woodlands over the last 2 days.
But we're ready for today. We got a 36-hole marathon because we want to get the payday in for sure. You know, the tour, if you get in 36 holes, it's official money.
Yeah.
And so,
but they'll do whatever they can for 54. Is that correct, Charlie?
Oh, sure. They're going to. But the forecast for Sunday is not good. But they'll wait and see. But so 36 holes today. The old timers are going to be tested. Lift clean in place. The golf course is definitely a little moist for the fairway, so it's going to play a lot longer.
It sure is. Let's start with 12 inches of rain here over the last 2 days, Charlie. But talk about the events that Brian Noggle and Jane Wanamaker and the team here at the Insperity Invitational have for the players this week.
Well, 21 years ago, Insperity, a company that is a human resource specialty. They were named Administaff back then. But Insperity is a company that really wants to see communities prosper so they can succeed, you know. And Insperity is part of the community, and they provide this golf course, this golf tournament, free to the public, because they want the public to come out and see these great players from yesteryear. The other added event, we have the greats of golf here, male and female.
Yeah.
You got Annika Sorenstam, Nancy Lopez, Judy Inkster. They come out and play with the old man, and they just have a wonderful time. And then we have a dinner that we give out the Dave Marr Award, which is an incredible, philanthropy for the golf pros. And Marco Mira has done so much in his career to help community. So they honored him Thursday night, and then they had the old-timers sit down and chat with none other than the voice of the Masters, Jim Nance.
Yeah.
What an MC. I mean, this guy's got more class than, how many Super Bowls, how many Final Fours.
Yeah, he's approaching 50 Masters here in the next decade, Charlie.
So here is Insperity that uses golf as a marketing tool and to entertain its clients all over the country, and it's been so successful. Mr. Servati mentioned Thursday night, they signed Arnold Palmer as their spokesman 21 years ago, and it's just been a joyous week in that we get everybody together from all over the country, become friends, do business, celebrate golf. It's the best Champions Tour event on tour.
There's no doubt about it, Charlie, and that's why people need to log on to InsperityInvitational.com. Get their free tickets today. That's thanks to Hewlett-Packard, United Healthcare, Insperity. Obviously, Insperity, the title sponsor here, but Hewlett-Packard, United Healthcare, a couple of other Houston-based companies stepping up to the task as far as free tickets. And like you said about the greats, what a day we have out here. Of course, the original plan was for the greats to go off at 2:30. They'll now go off at 11:50 and 12:20. And I mean, people, the players that you can come out here and see. Brian Nagel is the only man on the planet who can get these caliber of players on property together for an exhibition. Annika Sorenstam, Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, Lee Trevino, Tony Jacklin, Julie Inkster. How about
Nancy Lopez?
Nancy Lopez. How about your guy Ben Crenshaw, Charlie?
Gentle Ben, and Tom Kite.
Yeah.
The two Texas stars from the '70s are still in love with the game of golf, and they come here and have a good week of memory, seeing all their buddies they played with for 30 years on the regular tour. So it's a magical week.
It sure is. Julie Inkster, Ben Crenshaw, Bill Rogers, Texarkana guy.
That's it.
Big fan of Bill Rogers and Andy North.
Champion golf of the year.
Yeah, sure is. They won the team competition last year. They're split up into 4 teams. Fun format, great for the fans. Get your family out here. Another top storyline as far as this field is concerned is PGA Tour champions all-time win leader Bernhard Langer. He's making his return to competition here this week in the Woodlands. Langer had surgery in February to repair a torn Achilles heel, and just 3 months later, he's back on the golf course this week, and he's currently 1 over through 2. Langer, he made it clear. It's only been 3 months. It's going to be very, very tough for him to win this week. But he's looking to.
Don't tell him that.
Well, that was word for word. I couldn't believe I heard it, Charlie. He said in a couple weeks he'll be ready to win.
Well, that's great. I mean, 4 victories here.
Yeah. Two green jackets.
He is the Champions Tour success story. He's won more tournaments than anybody. He overtook the Open champion.
Yeah, Hale Irwin.
Hale Irwin.
Yes, sir.
And it's just great golf, great friendship. Everybody's laughing. Lee Trevino's telling more jokes than anybody. I mean, every tee, he's kind of like Johnny Carson.
Oh, I can't wait to get out there and see Lee Buck today. I remember last year you and Lee had about a 2-hour range session there. That was very special to watch, Charlie. Y'all's interaction is incredible. As far as Langer, this is an incredible story because it was only 3 months ago that he tore his Achilles. He's been inspired from other athletes like Aaron Rodgers. Let's hear some audio from Langer on his comeback at the Insperity Invitational.
Yeah, well, first I'm thrilled to be back, and as I had surgery and I was talking to my surgeon and my PT, how long will this recovery be? And they're going, well, 4 to 6 months. And I'm going, well, I got this tournament that I would love to play. It's in 3 months. And they're going, well, we don't know about that. But anyways, I love this tournament, Insperity. I've won it 4 times. It was my first victory on this tour. The other thing I was arguing with my PT and my surgeon was, Houston is very flat. It's like South Florida, easy to walk and get around. It's not hilly. And so they finally agreed after I played golf with them about a week ago and showed them I'm capable of doing this. There's no restrictions. I'm not in pain. And they all said, all right, you have our blessing. Go and be careful.
3 months, Charlie.
3 months.
What a specimen. What a work ethic, Langer.
Well, he was in top shape to begin with for somebody who's 65 years old. I mean, he has a discipline of Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about what he's done professionally. That is quite something for somebody to start a new career at the age of 50.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden win more tournaments than anybody. It's a salute to his dedication and his love for the game of golf.
And Charlie, I think he echoed your words as far as why he picked this tournament to come back, why he chose the Insperity Invitational. Let's hear from Langer on why he picked the Woodlands just 3 months after a torn Achilles heel.
Yeah, I love the tournament. I think it's one of our best. It's run by wonderful people, with Brian Nagel and his group, and Insperity is a great sponsor. They have great leadership with Paul Savardi and the whole team. They really are true professionals and love the golf course on top of it.
So Longer, loves this tournament. Echoed your words. Paul Sarvati, CEO of the company, Steve Arispe, what a job they've done here at the Woodlands to host another great tournament. And once again, we're here live from the Insperity Invitational. Last 2 days have been rained out, but we got a great weekend ahead of us.
Rained out, but they've held clinics. They've entertained their clients. They've had good food. It's just they don't waste any time.
No.
Although it's raining on the parade, they're still entertaining their clients. They're entertaining the golf professionals.
Yep.
The golf professionals really like it here because they're really given the extra miles to be welcome, and it's the Woodlands hospitality. It's Texas hospitality.
Yep.
So we're having a great time.
Yeah, they still had all their junior clinics. Got a lot of pro-am golf in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Only Thursday and Friday brought in a little bit of showers, but that was no problem at all because once again, Charlie, you had Brad Paisley at the Marriott on Wednesday. You had Jim Nance present the Hall of Famer Marco Mira with the Dave Marr Award. I mean, Marco Mira is a legend. I mean, for maybe the younger generation that is not so familiar with him, this is a guy who attended Long Beach State, won the USAM in '79, and made his PGA Tour debut right out of college in 1980. He never really looked back, Charlie, did he? I mean,
he really didn't. He didn't think he was good enough, but he just had that success. But he's the oldest player on the PGA Tour to have won 2 majors in the same year. He won the Masters, and then he went over and won the Open Championship. So Marco Mira is really a Hall of Fame player with his ability to win tournaments at the Pebble Beach. He won that tournament 5 times. He can putt, he can play, and more importantly, he's really a nice person.
All right, we're gonna have to take a quick break here, but stay with us on the other side and head to InspirityInvitational.com to get your tickets for the Champions Tour action here at the Woodlands Country Club. What a crop of golfers on the golf course. You have David Duval teeing off at 8:45. Larry Mize and Boo Weekley go off at 8:55. Jesper Parnevik, Golf Channel star Paul McGinley go off at 9:06. And, of course, already on the golf course is 2-time defending champion Stephen Alker. You've got Ernie Els and Retief Goosen playing alongside Alker. They went off at 7:10. And then Bernard Langer is in the 7:21 group as he is 1 over through 2. It's a 36-hole day out here. Get your family. Get out to the Woodlands Country Club. Come join us here at the Insperity Invitational. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN Houston, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
The Charlie Epps Golf Hour, powered by Insperity, continues
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and Charlie Epps.
InspirityInvitational.com is where you can get your free tickets for this weekend's action at the Woodlands Country Club, thanks to Insperity, United Healthcare, and Hewlett-Packard. Little bit of rain yesterday, but that means more golf today.
A little bit.
Yeah, well, 12 inches, Charlie. 12 inches. listen, they got all the water off the golf course, so it wasn't enough to cancel the whole weekend. Thankfully, Charlie, how would you spend your rain delays back in the day?
Well, in the golf tournament, the first thing you always want to make sure you have the right clothing, socks, shoes. You got an extra pair of shoes. If you come in off the golf course, you got to change your shoes. You got to get the other shoes drying in case you go out again. So that's number one. You got to make sure you eat correctly.
Yeah.
I always ate too much.
Yeah.
But, get yourself hydrated. Relax, because it's going to be a long day. You might even take a power nap.
Yeah.
And then they'll give you enough time. They'll give you probably 25 minutes to warm back up again. But you try to stay stretched out. You keep yourself more limber as you sit there and talk to your buddies.
Charlie, a lot of players were still on site today. A little bit of putting, or
sure.
on site yesterday. A little bit of conversation. There's some good camaraderie that comes with that.
And I saw some of them too. Went and enjoyed some of the local scenery, a few of the bars.
Yeah. They went to Topgolf.
But that's camaraderie. That's the Champions Tour. But that's about it. You just want to take advantage of the downtime. So when you get back on the golf course, you already know the round has turned from a 4-hour round of golf to a 6 hours round.
Yeah, and today even longer.
Yes, right.
I was walking around yesterday and found Tim Herron and David Toms doing some putting while the skies cleared up. Herron won 4 times on the PGA Tour. David Toms, 2001 PGA champion, 2018 U.S. Senior Open champion. Great part of that LSU legacy, Toms is. And they spent their days in 2 very different ways, and I was interested to hear how they took their rain check. Here's Tim Herron and David Toms on the rain delay.
Well, I slept in a little bit once I heard the news, and then I came out and hit some putts, and then now it's starting to rain again. So, I don't know. I guess I'm going to go try to find a movie this afternoon.
Well, when you have your spouse in
Toms.
town with you, you do some, window shopping, have a little lunch, wait for her to get ready so I can actually go somewhere since we only have one car. But now that I'm out here, I got here just in time for the rain, so
Perfect.
We'll
You timed it well.
Yeah, timed it really well. But we'll see. Hopefully, we can get some meaningful holes in here sometime this week.
And we sure will get 36 holes in today. But Charlie, you can relate to a little bit of window shopping, huh?
Oh, sure. Father of 2 and 2 ladies, 2 girls, and their mother. She's a all-American shopper if I've ever been around her. She doesn't like the sun. She likes to stay in the shade and in the air conditioning. So she likes antiques. Now she's married to an antique.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, Mark Calcuvecca leads the way here at the Insperity Invitational, 3 under through 5. Justin Leonard and Padraig Harrington and defending champion Stephen Alker in a tie for second at 2 under. Another great new player out here, another great new rookie on the PGA Tour champions is Boo Weekley. He was a very beloved figure on the PGA Tour. The Saudi people gave Boo a very nice offer to come perform on the Live Circus, and Boo said he would rather play on the Champions Tour. Here's Boo on his love for the Insperity Invitational.
Oh, man, Noggs and Miss Jean, they're awesome. Her whole team, they're awesome, dude. Rolling up here, runs the golf shop and everything. It's such fun to be around them and just to be able to help support for a good cause. And, the golf course is in awesome shape. Unfortunately, like I said, the rain just is here, it's hard to believe that we've gotten so much rain, left like almost 12 inches of rain, in 48 hours.
Yeah, never see this in Houston. Looking forward to seeing you get out there tomorrow.
Yeah, we will have some fun tomorrow. I hope we get out, be able to play, and, the golf course is going to be soaking wet, it's going to play long, but it'll be what it is,
Boo.
Boo. What a man. He is so fun to be around, and you got a different outlook on life, and it's not that serious. Let's have some fun. Let's go hunting. Let's he's a true Texan, but he lives in Florida.
Yeah, that's right. From the Panhandle there. What can the listener at home take from the the free-flowing way that Boo plays the game. He's not a big thinker out there. You know, he's able to let it go, you know, and not overanalyze and overthink golf shots. You see maybe a lot of amateurs get too wrapped up in swing or positions out there when they first get on the golf course. That stuff is only for the range. Is that correct, Charlie?
Sure. Boo, you know, he's just a fun-loving guy. That's just his personality. I mean, he just doesn't take anything too seriously. You know, just like Jack Nicklaus says, and don't make golf more important than it really is. But it is his vocation, and he has proven that he's a champion. He's a Ryder Cup player. He's won on the PGA Tour, and it won't be too long he'll win here on the Champions Tour.
Yeah, no doubt. He's coming off 2 weeks ago. He finished 6th in Dallas at the Invited Classic there at Las Colinas. You know, Boo, a guy who just turned 50, could be a pretty good pick for a tournament where you have to get through 36 holes. It's going to be a grind for some of these guys out here.
That's exactly right. And, you know, if we remember Boo when he played in the Ryder Cup at Valhalla, and he started his round, his opponent teed off, and then he teed off, and then he went right by him. He had his club between his legs, and he was pretending like he was 10 years old, and he was whipping his horse. Come on, let's go, let's go. And I think the guy looked at him, and he never recovered.
No, he didn't. Boo won that day, and what a great U.S. team that year at Valhalla. You know, Kenny Perry and Chad Campbell and Boo Weekley. Really an American feel for that win for the United States. And Boo told some funny stories about that Ryder Cup. The Europeans were so mad that they lost, and you know, those are stories for another day. We'll have to get Boo on live to tell those. I don't want to repeat him without his permission. But just a great storyteller. Great to have him out here. And another rookie this year is Heath Slocum, who's not out here this week but is a good friend of Boo. And I think on a bigger note, you mentioned Jack Nicklaus.
Yep.
Him and Arnold were the starters of PGA Tour champions when they were playing, Charlie. They had it on ESPN primetime. And looking at these players who we have coming up who are going to be out on the Champions Tour in the future, we could see this tour back in the spotlight here very soon.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. The stars are coming, the stars that made the tour in the 80s. There's a guy named Tiger Woods. You think he'll make a very good senior?
I think he absolutely. Hey, they're in cart. Everyone's in carts today,
He'll be able
Charlie.
to ride his cart.
I think he'll maybe settle down the ego of walking when he gets out here and take the cart.
That Ryder Cup captain Jack Johnson's right at 50, and then Luke Johnson, the other captain of the Live Tour.
No. Luke Donald,
that's the Live Tour.
Now his European Ryder Cup captain Luke Donald will be out here in 2028. Charlie, of course, he lost a lot of his top players to Live Tour like John Rahm, but they were still victorious. You know, he was a heck of a captain. You've got Texas Golf Hall of Famer Ryan Palmer. He'll be out here in 2026.
Jeff Ogilvy, winner of the U.S. Open. He is, you know, he's become an architect, but now he's. I think he'll make a good player on the Champions Tour.
Charlie, one player who we won't be seeing out here, and once again we won't spend too much time on the subject, but he did deliver a quote to Bloomberg this week. You know, it's Phil Mickelson. He probably won't be out here for the immediate future. He was obviously, you know, the second best all-timer of the last 2 decades next to Tiger Woods. And, you know, Mickelson spoke to Bloomberg earlier this week, showing signs that his future in competitive golf may be coming to an end.
Well,
I'm 53 now, and my career, you know, if I'm being truthful, it's towards its end, and now I would like to help others find the same enjoyment, fulfillment that the game of golf has provided me. I'd like them to experience that as well. And so there's moments where you're out on a golf course alone and you have this solace, this very solitude, and you're at peace. Or when you're with your family and friends where you're laughing and having a good time. Or when you're competing in the club championship or the junior event, like you're feeling that competition. Or when you're playing golf at the highest level and competing against the best players in the world. Like all of that creates such fulfillment, whether you're practicing on your own or you're with friends. there's so many great things about this game of golf, and I would love others to experience those things.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Phil Mickelson. You talk about a guy that let me down. What he presented early on in his career and what he did for the game, I salute him. But then he went south and he did something that I never would think that a man of his responsibility would have done it, and he got caught up in the gambling world.
Yeah.
And that's just, there's so many people hurt by gambling.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's
a
just
mess.
like alcoholism. And you can't do that. And I'm really worried about how gambling has gotten into the sports world legally, but I don't know.
A lot of
we'll
mess.
Have to wait and see.
Ohtani, NBA,
Yeah.
all sports dealing with it. NHL, it's a mess. Phil talked about number one, 53 years old. I don't understand why he's throwing the towel in now. He's healthy. I think if he had stayed on Champions Tour, if he had stayed on the PGA Tour, he would have had a lot of good golf ahead of him. But number two, he talked about enjoying the game and watching people enjoy the game. There's not going to be more happier faces, more people enjoying golf with a smile on their face than today at 11:50 for the Folds of Honor Greats of Golf. That's what real enjoyment in this game is. You've got the legends out there. You've got a great cause behind it with the Folds of Honor.
And we had the Colonel speak.
Oh wow! We have to tell you
Thursday night.
Beautiful.
He was the idea behind the Folds of Honor.
Oh wow!
And they've given thousands of scholarships to the survivors of injured soldiers. The story is just incredible. You log on to foldsofhonor.com and this term is supporting it. And the Colonel, he told us what it's all about. And if you didn't have a wet eye after he was doing what he told us was really magnificent. And Jack Nicklaus, he designed the golf course where the activities for the Folds of Honor in Michigan, Benton Harbor, take place, and it's just a true passion of love to help thousands of kids whose parents were killed in wars, and so we're helping them out by contributing to the Folds of Honor, and I hope everybody can. It's such a worthy cause.
Yep, come out. Visit InsperityInvitational.com. Get your free tickets. The Greats of Golf are going off at 11:50, and once again, this is 17 legends that have a combined 266 PGA Tour victories, 156 LPGA Tour victories, and 85 major championship titles combined. This is the best players that have ever picked up a club, and they're out here today at the Woodlands Country Club. Annika Sorenstam, Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, Lee Trevino, and Tom Watson. Get your family, get your tickets, and come out here. As far as the Champions Tour action is concerned, the players are off. They started a 36-hole day. Mark Calcavecchia is in a solo, has the solo lead at 3 under, and Justin Leonard, Padraig Harrington, and Stephen Alker are all in a tie for second at 2 under. On the other side, we'll visit the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson, Jordan Spieth. He didn't make the weekend, but he gave a couple interesting quotes regarding world number 1 Scottie Scheffler and how he's actually inspired by the younger Scheffler. We'll talk about that right here on the other side of the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
Now from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the golf doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
InsperityInvitational.com is where you can find your free tickets to get out here to the Woodlands Country Club this weekend and watch the Insperity Invitational as the best names on the Champions Tour are competing. 36 holes today, hopefully 18 tomorrow, weather permitting. And then over on the PGA Tour, you have the CJ Cup Byron Nelson going on in McKinney, Texas at TPC Craig Ranch. Mexico Open winner Jake Knapp off to a hot start, 64-64 at TPC Craig Ranch. Low scores there as the cut was 6 under this week, Charlie. Unbelievable. That's a golf course that was mostly used for the Korn Ferry Tour early on. They held multiple Korn Ferry Tour championships. They had Q School out there, but nonetheless, still a great time for Texas golf. So many pro events this year so far.
Oh yes, it's it's a golf course that lends itself to let these guys play golf without any really problem unless the wind kicks up. You get the wind in Texas, but it's quiet, so these guys are making birdie after birdie and having fun. But it surprised me that our good friend Jordan Spieth, our Texas legend, has really, he's playing hurt, which is not the right thing to do.
3 missed cuts in his last 5 events, Charlie.
Yes. No, his record this year is horrible. Yeah. But it's because he's hurt. So he's got to, it's hard to give up. I mean, look at Bernard. He's won this event 4 times.
Yep.
And he's got an Achilles, and he's coming back, probably 6 weeks to 8 months, 8 weeks too soon.
Yeah.
But hopefully it doesn't damage his golf swing.
Told his doctors he had to be here.
Yeah.
He had to be here in the Woodlands this week. But yeah, world number 20 Spieth, he spoke to the media Wednesday at the Byron Nelson in Dallas with, Scotty Scheffler not in the field, Meredith giving birth here in the next week or two. Our thoughts and prayers are with them, of course. And then other Dallas native, Will Zalatoris, he's resting the back. Withdrew earlier this week from the Byron. So Spieth was the only notable Dallas native in the field this weekend. The 3-time major champion started off by addressing this lagging left wrist injury that began at last year's Byron Nelson.
Yes, exactly right. And
let's run that audio,
okay.
Austin.
It's a lot of managing it. I'm kind of doing a couple different things to help treat the symptoms that I experience and to not have kind of some reoccurring problems that have happened. And so I'm doing a lot of stuff off the course, physical therapy side, whether it's, treating tendon to treating the nerve in general. And I think that's helping. And I kind of maybe got a little bit away from it as I got into a heavier stretch of golf the last 8 weeks or so. And I had a couple instances that weren't good. But I don't plan on that happening going forward with what I'm doing off the course, even though I will be playing a lot of golf.
Physical therapy versus surgery, Charlie. How often do you see golfers fighting between that decision?
Well, I think surgery is a lot more dangerous. I mean, you come back from an injury, you're never the same.
Yeah.
So you got to
take Zalatoris. Having to take some rest this week.
You've got to do enough physical therapy to try to avoid surgery at all costs.
Yeah. Final thing on Spieth. I think the world of golf was very impressed on the inspiration Jordan Spieth has taken from world number 1 Scotty Scheffler. Scheffler is 3 years younger than Spieth, but I was in awe by Spieth's words on Scheffler this week. Let's run that tape, Austin.
I'm nothing but extremely excited and happy for him, and it's well-deserved and all that. And then on the flip side, it's kind of the first time I've ever looked at somebody younger than me and been in like that I've driven inspiration. I'm inspired by what he's doing. It makes me want to go out and get better, and that's always been someone that's been older than me. And it's kind of the first time I've really felt that way about someone younger, especially because I play a decent amount of rounds with him here in town. So I'm constantly seeing it, and I'm trying to beat him at home. And when he's playing better than I am, it sucks. I don't enjoy it when I'm side by side, because there were however many years of our life it wasn't that way, and it's flipped, and I feel like I've got plenty of runway to be able to get it back, but it's inspiring at the same time to try to make that happen. So I have nothing in my way of being able to make that happen but my own self. I've got enough. I believe in my ceiling, and I believe my ceiling's as high as anybody's, and I just have to get each part of my game up towards its ceiling. And I've got a couple areas that are about at it right now and a couple areas that need to get there, and if they do, then I feel like we could go on runs together, I guess.
But first, get healthy. You got to get healthy, Jordan. You can't play hurt. And you're going to hurt yourself if you play. Take enough time and come back healthy.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have a chance. But trying to play injured is not the answer.
And we're in the middle of the busiest stretch in professional golf. We just got done with the Florida Swing and the Masters, and around the corner, next week is the Wells Fargo at Quail Hollow, Charlie, and then we go to the PGA Championship at Valhalla, and then the Canadian Open, and then Memorial, and then the U.S. Open.
If you look in the history of our game and guys that have gotten hurt, Ben Hogan, horrific automobile accident. He didn't come back until he was healthy.
Yeah.
That's so important. Lee Trevino was struck by lightning. He didn't come back, and he might have come back a little too soon because he was still hurt, but then he finally got healthy.
Yeah.
That's when you can't compete against players that are healthy, and you have an injury. So please, Jordan, and because it affects our kids too. Our kids look up to Jordan, and well, if he's going to play hurt, I'm going to play hurt. No, you got to play. You got to play smart.
You got to rest. And speaking of the kids and the youth, I mean, how about 16-year-old Chris Kim of England becoming the 5th youngest player to make the cut on the PGA Tour? He's the son of former LPGA player Jin Hyun Suh, and Kim fired rounds of 68, 67 to make the cut. He's 7 shots back of the lead. Bigger picture here, Charlie. We just came off a 2-week stretch where 15-year-old Miles Russell played in 2 Korn Ferry events in a row. Your grandson, Charlie Wiley, just won the Byron Nelson Jr. Award. I mean, how about the youth in this game, Charlie?
It scares me. It scares me because they're too young. Their whole body structure has not developed yet. That for physical activity, so on and so forth. You got to be careful, because if you overdo it, you hurt yourself. I have my second grandson, because of baseball, he injured his growth plate because he was throwing a curve, and then he hurt his tendon. Parents have to be smart. Don't rush them into the game, because what's going to happen is by the time they get to be 27, 28, they're done.
Yeah.
They don't want to play anymore. Their career is over. Because they start them at 6, and you play until you're 27.
That's a career.
It's a career. So please, everybody, get some senses, and there's reasons you have junior golf. That's for junior golfer. College golf. That's for college kids, for older kids, and then you can move into the professional ranks. But even professional ranks is gotten younger, but please be careful. Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, and the one thing that I heard from Russell last week in Arlington and then Kim this week in Dallas was I was surprised at that age that all they do is play golf. At that age, I was playing some baseball, and now, once again, I was not that caliber of a golfer, but I know your grandchildren, they played every sport, baseball, golf, and that's good for the coordination, isn't it, Charlie?
It's good for developing their body, the machine.
Yeah.
Their eye-hand coordination, whether it be basketball, volleyball. My girls played volleyball. That helps coordinate the hands and feet and the hands and the arms. Those things are so vital, but it takes time to develop. And so, when you're 28, 29. Now you're physically strong. You can start exercising. You know, one thing about Roy McIlroy, he won all of his 4 majors with a different body.
Yeah, he was a twig.
And now, you know, he's built himself into this.
He looks like The Rock.
Right. I mean, and he can hit it a long ways.
Yeah.
But he hadn't won a major in 10 years.
Yeah. And his iron and wedge play, that's a whole nother
because the
issue.
Big, bulky guys don't,
Yeah.
sometimes have the finesse of somebody who has their body in golf shape, not in gym shape.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to take a little break here before last segment here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour. Y.E. Yang has taken the lead here at the Insperity Invitational as he is 4 under through 7. Of course, Y.E. Yang, the 2009 PGA champion. He was the first male to really ever beat Tiger Woods on a big stage.
Yeah, in Minnesota, yes.
Yeah, incredible. And he's got Chris Brown on the bag this week. Chris Brown used to caddy for J.J. Henry. Good caddy on the PGA Tour. And in the tie for second is Padraig Harrington, Mark Kalkavecchia, and Charlie Wee. On the other side, we'll give a pick for the Insperity Invitational right here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
You're listening to the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the Golf Doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
All right, InsperityInvitational.com is where you can get your tickets, your free tickets, to come out here and watch the best golfers of yesteryear on the planet. in this field, you've got 266 PGA Tour victories. You have 85 major championships combined, and then of course the greats of golf: Jack Nicklaus, Lee Trevino, Gary Player, Annika Sorenstam. They're off today at 11:50. So get your tickets and get out here. If you're in the car almost out here, I suggest getting to the first tee for the 8:55 tee time. John Houston, Larry Mize, and Boo Weekley. Great grouping right there. Charlie, you've been out here all week. You played in some pro-ams, played with Lee Jansen. You're close with a lot of these guys.
John Daly.
I mean, just give us a feel for the camaraderie that you have with almost every player out here. I mean,
Well,
you go ahead.
I went to tour school in 1969, and I met the likes of Lanny Watkins and in that vintage of player that went on to have a great career and won the PGA, and then I've won. I've played in some majors, and I've played, in other tournaments.
You played in 6 majors,
Yeah.
Charlie.
And so I've kept, my relationship with my players. Blaine McAllister kept me in front of all of my friends on the PGA Tour. Bill Rogers, Lanny Watkins, on and on and on. Nicklaus and Trevino, and so I have a friendship, and they although I'm a club professional, they respect what I've done. I've taught some tour winners. Cabrera, we won 2 major championships. So to be out here and you see the guys with John Daly and Lee Jansen playing with him, who won 2 U.S. Opens, they're enjoying this. This is still their golf is a game of a lifetime, and even the golfers that do it for a living, they really strive to get better at every age, at every birthday. You want to get better than you were last year, and so they do it through education. They do it through physical fitness programs. All of these guys out here are working out. Look, we're sitting here in the gym doing, and the guys come in instead of going to the bars.
It's changed a lot over the last 20 years. But Charlie, you don't give yourself enough credit as a player. 6-time competitor in major championships. You came in second at the Zurich 2-ball with Blaine McAllister, and this was all while you were, running Houston Country Club.
Yeah, I was the type of club professional that I love the game. I wasn't. I always told my good friend Dick Harmon, bless his rest his soul in peace, and I said, Dick, if I wanted to sell shirts, I'd go to work for Sears and Roebuck. I'm into golf. I want to learn how to teach. I want to learn how to play. I want to have a junior program that develops kids, a ladies program, and so that was my philosophy. And then my hobby was playing golf. So I would make sure that my goal was to try to win the National Club Pro Championship. I wanted to be on the PGA Tour Ryder Cup. For professionals.
Yeah, PGA of America versus RNA, correct?
Right. Yes, and I made it, and so it's those were my goals.
You've done a great job, Charlie. What a run in this game, far from over. For fans coming out today here, Charlie, to the Woodlands Country Club, what can they learn from these PGA Tour Champions players that they can take home and implement into their own game?
Tempo, timing, and rhythm. You're going to be able to get closer to the players in this tournament because there's not 30,000 people out here. We're going to have a crowd of 10,000 people, and so you can stand on the first tee or every tee and watch their tee shots, but more importantly, watch the body. Watch their body. It doesn't move that fast, but it moves, and it moves with grace and effortless power. And they're not hitting at the ball; they're swinging the club through the hitting area with good footwork, and their bodies are in better shape, so their hips can move. So, but don't overswing and don't overthink.
Yeah.
Just play the game, each shot one at a time, and always hit more club than you think you need.
Yeah, and around the greens, I mean, there's speed control, Charlie. I don't see any 3 putts out here. Still, I mean, it's tough after the age of 50 or at any age, quite frankly, to have soft hands around the greens, and each and every one of them have it out here.
Oh, yesterday's a perfect example. We were rained out, the courses were closed, but who did you see on the putting green? A lot of players.
Retief Goosen, Esteban Toledo, John Daly. Not John. Boo Weekly.
Boo, yeah. But it's so true. It's the guys that spend the time in the gym that are the better basketball players. The guys that spend more time on the putting green, in the long run, it's going to, you learn how to practice. You don't have to practice all day long, but come out and have a 45 to 50-minute session. That's plenty.
Yeah, but isn't it amazing for the highest of levels? You hear Jason Day and Jordan Spieth talking about how they practice putting, Charlie.
Right.
Most amateurs, weekend golfers, they think it's all done on the range. Jordan Spieth and Jason Day take now this is at the pro level. This is their jobs, but they take 4 to 5 hours a day to work on speed, to work on three-putt avoidance. I asked Darren Clark on Monday, hey, Darren, what's your number one piece of advice for up-and-coming pros in 2024? He said 100 yards and in, Charlie.
Yep.
Master 100 yards and in and no three putts.
Because you can get within 2 of any par 4, and then from there you got to have that 100-yard shot that you can get it close on the green and close to the pin and avoid double bogeys. Yeah. That's where you put double bogeys on your scorecard. It's going to add up way too high. Yeah. Keep double bogeys off by being a good putter and a good wedge player.
You make 17 bogeys in one par, you're breaking 90, Charlie.
That's it.
Who are you watching today? I
have my favorites. I every year I like to have coffee with Hal, the U.S. Open winner.
Hale Irwin.
Hale Irwin. He's fantastic, but he's not playing in the tournament. But I wish he was an announcer on NBC because he really knows his golf. But I'll watch Justin Leonard because he's a new guy out on tour. I love watching Padraig Harrington. He's a character, but he's also, he has changed his body at the age of 50, and he's going to win. Ernie Els.
He's kind of proved science wrong in a sense, hasn't he? He's actually gotten faster.
Yeah.
As he's transitioned to the Champions Tour.
Yep.
And still competing on the PGA Tour. Harrington and Sink, Charlie. Yeah. These guys can still win on every level.
Mike Weir, the Canadian I like, who's the President's Cup captain, I like to watch him chip and pitch. He's really got a short game that's envious. That's really good. And Jay Haas. Jay Haas is he's made over 500 cuts on the regular tour, but he knows how to play golf.
You look at the past champions. Stephen Alker is the 2-time defending champion. The Kiwi has really had a storybook start to his Champions Tour career. Alker is a guy who really had to grind his way through levels of the professional game just to maintain a living. He wasn't ever a full-time player on the PGA Tour. Spent a couple years out there, but played a lot of Korn Ferry Tour golf. And now the fruits of his labor have really come to life during his Champions Tour run. Won this in 22, won this last year. And then over the years you've had, Jesper Parnevik win, John Daly, Bernard Langer 4 times, Scott McCarron in 2019.
Fred Funk, one of the best drivers on the PGA Tour. He won the Tour Championship. He could keep the ball in the fairway all the time, and he never really overswung, and he tried not to bulk up. He just accepted the body that he was given, and he really was a great player and fun to watch. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and won this tournament in 2012. Yeah, we just got the 1-minute warning. Once again, InsperitiInvitational.com is where you can find your tickets to come out here and watch the golf all weekend for free. You have 7 World Golf Hall of Famers in the field. Ernie Els, Retief Goosen, 2024 class, Padraig Harrington, Bernhard Langer, Colin Montgomery, Vijay Singh. These are some phenomenal players, and then at 1150, you've got the legends, Charlie.
Well, congratulations to Insperity for bringing this great championship to the Woodlands in Houston, Texas, and raise money for charity and let us see all these great athletes. And it's great time to be watching golf.
We'll see you out here this weekend at the Insperity Invitational. Everyone enjoy the competition. Come out here and bring your family. Insperity Invitational is where you can get. InsperityInvitational.com is where you can find your tickets. And we'll talk next week here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour.